everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going to be playing some Urborg Zombify, where we are prioritizing a deck around either reanimating big giant threats or just kind of reanimating them in a way by using Urborg Scavengers. This is a very sick card. There's another card from the past that had like Delve on it that kind of did something similar. It's slipping my mind now. Somebody in the comments will know. But whenever this enters or attacks, we put a 1/1 counter on it if we exile a card from a graveyard. And if that is a creature card, it gets a lot of types. So basically any keyword that's not like ward, any like permanent kind of keyword. I guess Sire is a really good example of this. So first strike, vigilance, menace, trample, reach, lifelink are all the keywords that are available. And then ward is not. So it can do other things as well, and they're all written on here. So it starts off, if it says it has flying and everything, as long as our Urborg Scavenger has flying, as long as a card exiled with flying. The same is true for first strike, double strike, death touch, haste, hexproof, indestructible, lifelink, menace, reach, trample, and vigilance. So this can basically exile kind of any of these. Zetalpa and Sire of 7 Deaths is kind of the two primary ones that we do want to exile with Urborg. It either gets flying, double strike, vigilance, trample, and indestructible, or it gets all these keywords that we've already read off the Sire of 7 Deaths. Now, weirdly enough, the better one is Zetalpa, even though it has fewer keywords, because that indestructible is so important, and vigilance and double strike is really nice. But that is where like this comes into play post that, because it gives us that lifelink, that reach in case, or menace and whatnot like that after. And then this would be a 5/5 with all those kind of abilities on it, so it would be attacking, gaining 10 more than a Valgavoth on a one single hit, and same with the Atraxa there. But outside of that, Atraxa does have 4 keywords herself with flying, vigilance, death touch, and lifelink. That's not necessarily the worst thing in the world to put on the Urborg Scavenger, and Valgavoth just having flying and lifelink. But that's why we have the other game plan with the Zombify. Return target creature card from our graveyard to the battlefield. We're already wanting to put things in that graveyard for the Urborg Scavenger, so why not benefit a little bit more by just playing a Zombify as well? So even if we don't have an Urborg, we can just reanimate a 4/8 flying, double strike, and vigilance, trample, indestructible guy that's just going to sit up there, attack, be a really good solid wall, especially with these creatures playing auras. And like having 8 toughness is pretty huge that they have to trample over before they actually can direct any damage at us. So that's very nice. Outside of that, we're pretty much stay alive at all costs. In the early game, and Bitter Triumph is in here to discard as well. But then we have like the Synthesis here. Enter the battlefield, draw a card, discard a card. That is known as looting, where you draw first and then discard. And then Kiora does looting twice, whereas you draw 2 cards and then you discard 2 cards. So outside of that, I mean, we are just a reanimate pile / semi-reanimate pile with Urborg Scavengers, and we're trying to do our best to kind of wombo combo our opponents and do the crazy things early against aggro, and then grind out our opponents later with the Urborg Scavenger if they're a little bit more of that mid-range, go for the throat style deck, where we do have indestructible on it and they can't remove it anymore. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and dive into the games. I hope you all enjoy them. If you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing. Really appreciate it a ton. This video is going to be significantly shorter, and that is because I updated my PC. And if you've ever updated a Windows PC before, sometimes it breaks. And when you have a Go XLR to do all your mic and kind of all the fancy stuff and balancing I do, or try to do anyway, every single file on every single thing I had just forgot its location for some reason, and I had to figure that out. So if audio is a little bit weird, please let me know, especially if it's a little bit weirder than normal. I'm probably have to fix that, and I'm not going to know how to fix that, and then we'll go from there. So that'd be very cool. But again, enjoy content, consider subscribing, and I'm already complaining. So, let's go game. I mean, I think we keep. We have a mill. Just have to not die before then, I guess. We get to do this into an Urborg, into a Zombify. Just mono white life gain. Let's hope it's not 4 lands. Alright. Pretty good ones. A decline. You say oops. Or what, brother? Sure, man. That's fine. The only thing I'm actually like afraid of is a Shelter by Ghost. If I had to be like afraid of a card. Now this is obviously going to do this one. Flying, double strike, indestructible. Vigilance, flying, double strike, indestructible, trample. Sure. Sure. No life gained here because of first strike. I don't really want to exile the Valgavoth, but I can exile theirs and give it lifelink. Sick. I would like to gain lifelink, please. Again. So here's 8. And I gain a ton of life. Going to life gain better than the life gain. And then we Valgavoth. And we call it a day. Okay, go. Yeah. I would argue that sucks too. For sure. I don't, like, genuinely, what do they do? Even if they hit their land drops, unless they're the raise the pass stack, I have no idea what they do. Like, that's so hard to beat. Shelter by Ghost for the Urborg would work a little bit, but then it's like, what do you do about the Valgavoth after that, right? For first, we'll keep this. We'll find an Urborg, right? Right, team? Right, team? Ooh, swamp? Not a swamp. Play this. Take our draw. Get rid of this. So if we draw an Urborg here, we definitely want to play it and then get rid of the Zetalpa. Like, bro, that's not even a legal set. Yeah, it's not in Foundations. I'm lying. Oh, they pass. I'm going to play this first because it does technically grow our creature here. So there's a reason to play it first. And Kiora, obviously, like, more of a threat overall. 4's off. I kind of need the... Actually, I don't need one of the lands. Sure, I might not be able to cast this or something for hard cast it, but, like, am I not playing it for 2 next turn? Like, especially if Kiora lives somehow. Who really knows? They haven't done anything yet. I have to assume there's some amount of removal. Well, there's a Maze Tome, so I mean that's some amount of removal. Yeah, so I'm definitely going for this here. Because if I decline this, the Kiora will grow big enough, I believe, right? Because it's 7. Update. I'm declining regardless. Attack. Now Kiora is going to make an 8/8. And next turn is just lethal on its own. And if we run into like a Wrath here, we get to play land, play this Restless Reef, attack them. Oh, the temporary lockdown is pretty good here. Kind of. Day of Judgment. Wow. I said a Wrath, but Day of Judgment. Most people actually just don't play it. Should I strike for 4? Probably not, right? Just play this Urborg. Go to my graveyard, do Zetalpa. Then now we have lethal next turn, or pretty close. Actually, we do, because this will go to 4, deal 8, and then this will be an additional 4 for 12. No scry? Weird. My creature's enter tapped. I guess that works. Go for this. Have another removal spell. Oh, it did hit. Nice. Slowly ticking away here. We'll just see what happens, I guess. And there's a demo field immediately. Nice. Urborg. It does enter tapped. Yep. go. Okay. Here. Yeah. I mean, we're pretty close to just giving this up regardless. They're clearly just like a removal only deck. Like, when it comes to that aggressive of removal, like, not really a whole lot we can do about it. Active play this. Like, they're going so hard against removal, they have authority of the councils in their main board. Like, there's not really a whole lot we can do regardless. Gonna make me shuffle or what? Honestly, the more I think about it, this game's just unwinnable. I'm good. I'm not sitting here. Because they're just... Their entire game plan is just removal. I would almost be surprised if they actually have a win condition. Their win condition is probably just like a 6-mana Liliana that they could play into an empty hand. Well, I mean, look at this, dude. If you're playing any bigger deck like Domain or something, they do nothing for the entire game. Like, it's crazy sometimes how hard decks are constructed to be others and just ignore half the meta. Ooh, going first with like a really questionable hand, but we'll try. Oh. The reason this hand's questionable is just because of like what it kind of curves out into. But we'll see. All right. I mean, it's like fine if Kiora hits a land and then we can just zombify that. It's just typically that's not that easy. We do Kiora here instead of the Overlord because of the fact that we want the land. That down can go. Don't worry about Zetalpa. I got nothing, bro. Sure. I have a big donkey doodle dandy. No, not the card I predicted. Who would have thought Liliana comes down? Sure.
Haven't you ever heard of personal space?
This one? Nice land hit, to be honest, but we will grab Kiora here. Is my Overlord dead too? Interesting. That was the plan. This one. Well, there went 2 more copies of my Zombify, so I currently am holding the last copy that I have, which is nice. I like that a lot for me. Both the lands got to go, and we're going to play the land that matters. All my Zombifies are gone, dude. Pretty bold. Pretty bold indeed. These ones take that action. Urborg. Alright, well, we know Urborg's good because there's no way that they let that hit them. We do use Zetalpa. So now Urborg has Indestructible. And Liliana's going to be a little bit awkward to try to play here. Now we pass. And now they got to figure it out from here. Which does seem tough. I don't personally. I personally don't care. Alright, well, they're going to gain 4. And I'm going to take 8 because this seems reasonable. Sure. I'd like to move to combat. Yeah. I don't think they can block my Kiora, so I'm gonna attack. Nothing really in here. Just do Liliana. Fine. Kiora, I guess. I guess I should have brought it to land, right? But I don't think they can't not block it. Sure, man. Great block. Wow. We'll maul that. We'll keep this. We'll bend a land. Oh, ew. Does burn, I guess. Only burn plays Kellen. The Valgavoth should be incredible here. Sure. They're definitely burned. So we, however, do need to stop hitting what we're hitting. Yep. Yep. Sweet. Nothing. When I played Burn, this is exactly why I didn't play Kellen, by the way, because like, what? There's like no point, right? I just thought like, all right. Well, if I don't find a Zombify, I have plenty of things to discard. But like, the difference between that play and then just having, oh, I found a Zombify. I keep wanting to talk, but I can't talk because I'm stupid. The difference between Kellen there over just burning me or just playing like another creature in that spot or like what I play, like the questing druid, is like you're burned and I'm at 17 and you're going into turn 3 here, and I got real bad news. I'm just gonna bring back a Valgavoth, which update Mr. Burn, unless you put a Screaming Nemesis in play, can't really lose. Really? Like I can. Screaming Nemesis is so good. But you have to kind of have a land drop, which you didn't have last turn. And then you have to have a Screaming Nemesis, which you didn't play last turn. So it's kind of like, no way! Did he not miss a land drop last turn? Am I insane? I mean, obviously I'm not blocking. They bait me that bad? This is actually absurd. That is just actually absurd. That one. Yep. That's insane to me. I feel like they missed a land and I'm just getting trolled. I just don't believe it. Now I'm probably just dead here. Man, I still have pretty close to lethal. It's just whether or not we have it, because I do also get their burst lightning back. We're at 8 and that's so risky. Obviously we're gonna block with the 2/3. Come on, brother, figure something out. I can't wait to watch this back and be like, no, that's exactly how the game went. I draw an extra card. These also have minutes, by the way. Scared. I see. I guess I died to Boros Charm. Dock if I do that. That's 4. That's 2. That's 2. Interesting. I don't have a way to draw an extra card because these would get 1-0 menace. Actually, I think I'm fine, right? Because if they go to Boros Charm me and then they lightning strike me or shock me, I can actually Boros Charm them back in response to do the lethal, which is weird. Yeah, of course I'm only attacking with Valgavoth. Why would I attack into your Screaming Nemesis? Doesn't make any sense at all. Sure. Still puts him dead to our plan here. And now Shock doesn't even do it. I think. I meant to do the Helix, but thankfully they didn't have it. I meant to do Helix first for lethal and then like do the Shock, but whatever. Regardless, the Shock didn't kill him, so then like the thing in response wouldn't matter. But yeah, I mean, we get there. I can't wait to watch that back. I have no idea how that happened. Opponents first, we have a discard, we have a go for the throat, and we have an Atraxa potentially on turn 4. Yeah. Who did it? Who played bats? It's actually like the 3rd time I've seen like turn 1 Rune Lurker bat. Sure. Sure. No. I should probably... Well, missing a land. I probably have to play this, right? Atraxa. Goodbye. And then at least I have like double removal here, so I could pop this Chandler and then cut down whatever else I need. Maybe a Zorline coming in here. Which technically then I can't remove. Second Chandler. Okay. One creature would get huge if I did that, huh? Maybe I'm just like on the Atraxa plan. Like, I don't know what else to do here. If I miss these lands, I'm just dead regardless, right? I guess this gets left behind and it doesn't matter too much. Let's pass here. It's like a weird spot to be in. Amalia, I don't want more creatures in play. That's for sure. Go for the throat here. Instantly resolves. I assume the 1/1 flyer is getting targeted. Exactly. So we get rid of that. And then now they get no counters, and then this can't attack me, right? And then maybe we draw the land naturally. Who knows? But that's what we hope, of course. Now they're tapped out. They can move the counter here. Am I okay with that? I guess. I am just literally an epitome of like protect my life total, right? Sure. Okay. This one. Okay. That makes sense. I mean, sure. Still the same situations as before. We have to find like a discard outlet. Ruckus up. Sure. Darkslick to make sure we can cut down any creature that this Ruckus tries to target. Okay. No way, right? Let's go, dude. That's crazy work from our opponent there. I'm gonna get this reef down. We're not really likely to find another Darkslick Shores, so I can just do that now and maybe find a little value. We can give our creature haste. This can have haste. No, not my favorite card. Heartfire Hero. No, not my other favorite card. Okay. There's a card I would like to discard. It's these ones. I would like to find an outlet to do that with. Did they not target their own Heartfire hero there? To like give it a counter? Is our opponent trolling me? I mean, sure, I guess. I don't know. Seems like a crazy plan, considering you could have done that for free. That's free. Sure. We're now on pretty much find a Kiora, find a bitter, try and find something to discard this. And then we have to scavenger it again. Oh, that's an exile, and they don't have the card, so... Or they don't have the mana open, so we get to anoint this. So now I won't take damage, which is super sick. The one of anoint coming up huge. No creature, no creature. Get that Shelter by Ghost out of here. Any pump on his Manifold Mouse, though, is definitely devastating. Another land from our opponent. Not great. Uh-huh. Sure. So, double strike. We could technically block. If they attack, it's a We're gonna learn how this works. Okay. We're gonna bring this up because we're gonna mill ourselves. We'll get Scavenger some value somehow, or I lied and we will get it no value. I barely even want to play the Scavenger, but I think I have to. You have Offspring now. That's not true, by the way. The modes it can get are written on the card. So if it's not written on that card, it cannot get it. Well, might as well play this. If we had the mana to bring this up and mill ourselves again, we would do it, but we do not. We talk how we just milled 4 lands over. The game is trying everything it can to not give me an Urborg target. This is crazy. Look at that. Oh, dude, our graveyard's insane. Wait. We've had 1 card in exile with total. We have 2 cards in our graveyard, and the rest is all lands. How many is that? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 lands? Sure. I could be dead here, I guess. Now that I think about it. Which is kind of disgusting. A little less dead now. Yeah. Sure. Now I can do... I just do this. Discard a card here. Which we do a weird play instead. They give it the protection that we know they're probably going to have. Yep, there it is. A card that we reluctantly were able to dodge earlier in the game. Sure. Now we weirdly play the opposite way, where we play this Urborg. And then we put this Zetalpa underneath. And then I attack and I attack. I don't know. Random cards at this point. Alright. Down to 7. Would not have killed them. But now I do have like a really, really good creature in front. Sure. Sure. They're super dead in the air. Block. You know, if you want to stay, I'll do it to you. These two. It doesn't really matter, obviously. 8 for 10. And then we would have an additional 10 more coming. But yeah, I mean, for them, they drew a lot of lands, but I've played against red enough and drew enough lands before that I don't mind. I don't mind when they do it against me every now and then. All right, we are back here for the outro. As you can tell, it's going to be a little bit shorter. It's going to be some of the games that we kind of just had fun. I just want to kind of have a good little Sunday there for you. Get something out. I think I'm pretty much on the game plan of kind of uploading all the time. In worst case scenario, I'll just take a couple snippets from the deck and then call it that after a while. But this deck is a little like, I called the kind of Smuggler's Surprise a high rolly deck. This is kind of that same description. As sometimes whenever you have all the pieces, you just don't have a way to discard the pieces. Or if you have Zombify, you can bring them back, and then your opponents, for whatever reason, playing Shieldred's Edict, and they have the 1-of in their hand, so your Valgavoth just dies. And it's very weird things. Or like the time I think I watched it back, like the mono red player just didn't play a land and they didn't play a Screaming Nemesis. I would assume so, it wasn't removed, but like then they played it and then attacked and then burn it while I had a Valgavoth in play. So it was just like, sometimes that type of stuff happens. You're just gonna have to eat it and it'll be okay. But the main issue I had, and one card I definitely tried that maybe you can cut out from the deck, is I did have a Sire of 7 deaths because there's so many keywords on here for this. Plus, if we do just flood, I can just cast this for 7 mana, whereas like an Atraxa, I cannot. So you really could cut these and go up on an Atraxa and up on an Overlord, so you're a little bit more consistent. Overlord, I think, is a little bit more important than the Atraxa. That does help you mill, and realistically, we're looking to put this in there, and like worst case, we'll Zombify it. Realistically, we want to Urborg do that. But outside of that, the removal is definitely a little bit thinner than I thought. I thought we had a little bit more in here, but then I realized pretty quickly, I was like, I'm finding Kiora a lot. There's 4 Kioras. And then there's 4 of these, which is definitely a lot of space in the deck, especially when we have to play kind of these dead cards up here. Like, these cards are not playable without like these 2 cards, so these are all dead. And this is kind of your only removal, but realistically, you don't want to go overboard in removal, because as soon as you do, you're never going to find the cards that put these in your graveyard, or you're never going to find these to put them in your graveyard. And it's just like immediately you get caught off guard. So it is a weird balancing issue. So sometimes, like if you're playing and you're playing against aggro and you're finding yourself never having removal, well, if you're on the draw and you don't have removal, it's definitely going to be tough. But if you're on the play, you really have to prioritize that one removal spell and just kind of assume that it might be your only one. And you need to prioritize getting one of these big creatures in play immediately if you can. But outside of that, I hope you all enjoyed the video. It was just kind of me playing off and on. It is the weekend, off work for the week, doing a lot of stuff outside of obviously this, because I can't do this full time. But with that said, I hope you all enjoyed the content, and I'll catch you next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.